Good morning, evening, or afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Average Army Setup Guide for Twitch. Today we are actually going to be focusing mainly on specifically your Streamlabs setup for your first time streaming. We're going to go through Steam keys, video settings, your game capture, camera, lighting, green screen, chroma key, text, and mic setup, and pretty much in that order. So what we're going to do to start with is basically just start with the login. You want to get your settings correct for streaming. So the first thing you do is you need to log in with your Twitch. So you'll connect login and then you'll go to Twitch here in Streamlabs OBS. Then you will get something that looks a little bit like this. This is actually not my account, don't worry. You'll need your stream key, which I will show you how to get, and then you just hit authorize here. It'll bring up a little thing and you will go for continue if it says anything. Now we've actually logged in on Twitch now, so what we need to do is get our stream key. In order to get your stream key, you go to Twitch here and you will go down all the way down into your dashboard. We can close this off because we don't need to worry about that right now. Now that you've got your dashboard open, your stream key will be in your channel settings right down here. So we'll click here and your stream key will be here. Now all you want to do is Control-C to copy that. I'll show you this one because this one is not an actual streaming key. Let's see, we'll show just so you see how it looks. You don't have to show it. You never want to show it to anybody. So that's what the stream key looks like. Now that you have the stream key, you can hit copy. I'm going to go on and hide and hit reset. And then copy again, just because. For security reasons, basically. And now we can go back to Streamlabs OBS. Now, what you'll want to do, I'm not actually going to edit my stream key here because I've already got it set up for streaming on another platform. But you'll plug it right in here. So you go into settings and stream, and then right here's where your stream key is. So you select that and you control V or paste. Actually, I just did, oh well, no big deal. So now that you've actually put in your stream key and everything, you'll actually, the next thing you'll want to do is go to your video settings so you can get your stream looking decently. So we're going to go to output here. Your output mode should be advanced. Audio track, you don't have to worry about. Now your encoder's a big deal. If you have a very good video card and a bad processor, kind of like what's going on with me, you'll probably want to go with NVENC. Now the thing about the NVENC is it's all hardware driven. And it's a really fast encoder. So what's going to happen is if you use NVENC, it's not going to look as good as it will with software X264, but it's really going to reduce your resource usage. So if you notice later that your resources aren't being taxed at all, you've got a nice smooth stream and you want better quality, switch over to X264. But for now, we're just going to leave at NVENC. That is only for an NVIDIA video card. If you have another video card, there may be another option there for hardware encoding, so you can go with that as well. Now the output resolution here is important. Now a lot of people want to stream at 1080p, and I do not recommend that if you are not currently a partner. If you're not a partner, then if you have less than 10 people, I think it's 10 people in your channel, then people aren't going to have what's called transcoding options. So if you're streaming at 1080p, then your people who are watching on mobile devices, which are probably about 90% of all people right now that watch online content, they're watching on mobile devices. Don't hold me to that number. But if they're watching on a mobile device, a lot of them will not be able to watch a 1080p stream without the transcoding. Transcoding allows you to back it down to lower resolutions. So you at least want to go at 1280 by 720 is pretty much the highest you want to go unless you're a partner. If you're not, once you hit partner, you can stream at 1080 all you want because it's going to give them transcoding options. Now, if you are a non-partnered streamer who generally gets 20 to 30 within the first few minutes of your stream, then it's okay to stream at 1080p. But that's basically what it boils down to. I would go with 1280 by 720 for if you're just getting started. CBR rate control and 2500 bitrate. Now, I'm running a 2500 bitrate. They say you can run around a 3500 bitrate, but I find that 2500 is a pretty sweet spot. You can go up to 3500 if you have a really good internet. I actually get 20 megabytes per second upload, but the reason I stay down at 2500 is for the same reason that I'm streaming at 720, because I'm not a partnered streamer yet. Working on it currently, but because I'm not a partnered streamer, I'm kind of wary of going up to 3500. You can go up to 3500 and your stream's going to look good. Anything past that's kind of pointless because you won't notice a difference, and it's really not worth it, even for partnered streamers. Keyframe interval, you usually want to leave this right here at whatever the default is, which is auto. And your preset. Preset is actually kind of important for you. Basically, what you want to do here is you want to set it based on what your system specs are. If you've got a really nice computer, go on and bump it up to high quality. If you've got a potato computer, which I'm about midway potato here, use high performance. Now, this low latency stuff, I'm not too worried about, and you shouldn't either with the new low latency mode for affiliates for Twitch, so don't really worry about the low latency stuff here. I would actually recommend high quality for most people unless you've got a real potato computer. And on the profile, you always want the main profile. The main profile is basically the standard profile here. I'm not really sure what it does, but everything I've ever read or seen online says to use the main profile. So we're going to go on and use main. Now with your level, we don't mess with the level here. We're going to leave that at auto. Most things that have an auto, we want to use auto for. Use 2-pass encoding. Now here's a big deal. If you notice any lag in your stream, bump this down to 1 pass. It's going to reduce the quality of your stream quite dramatically, but you want to be able to basically stream without frame loss. If you can afford it system-wise, go for 2-pass encoding. It's going to dramatically increase your stream quality. So that's basically how you think about that. If you're hurting and you've turned everything down, go to 1-pass. If you're not hurting, leave it on 2-pass. Now GPU here you can leave at standard because that's mainly for SLI cards. Most people aren't running SLI anymore or Crossfire, so you don't have to worry about that at the moment. B-frames leave at 2. And recording, we don't care about recording here, so we're just gonna avoid all the recording stuff because this is a stream setup. This is not a video recording setup. Now with audio here, you basically want to choose what your default audio device is for audio device 1, and you can leave the rest wherever it is. Video, your base canvas resolution should be 1080 if you're playing at 1080. If you're playing at 4K, it should be 4K. Output scaled resolution should be 1280 by 720. Your downscale filter, bicubic is by far the best. Do not ever run anything besides bicubic. I will not recommend it. Common FPS values we can leave there. We don't really have to worry about all of this because that's going to be set up in your individual scene selection. So I believe that was everything. Never change your process priority for anything unless you absolutely know what you're doing. You can play around with your video format, but there's no real need to. You actually want to make sure your stream delay is disabled, and that should be about it for here. So now that we're done with that, we're going to hit done. Now we're going to start our first scene. Now the first thing you want to do when doing this is, let's go ahead, let me minimize this real quick. Let's go ahead and get a game started. Now I'm gonna just gonna run Empyrean Galactic Survival because that's the one I've been playing the most lately. And once this gets loaded, actually yeah, we don't have to load it. So now that we're loading, we can actually go into sources here. This is the important thing on this one. We actually need to set up a game capture. So to do that, we'll hit plus for new source, and then we'll go to game capture. Now I recommend going game capture on anything that it will work on, because that way if you tab out, it still shows the game. That's something that I've noticed that a lot of people don't do. And it's a good idea to run a game capture instead. So we'll just add source, game capture here. You can name this whatever you want to. So let's go Empyrean and hit done. Now that we've got that, capture any full screen application is not what we want. We want capture specific window here. Now when you go to Windows here, sorry, I've got a lot of stuff going on here and I don't even know why the groove music's up. But anyway, we'll find Empyrean.exe here because that's the game we're playing, and click on that. Now with these, you do want to capture cursor. You don't necessarily need to limit your capture frame rate here, unless you're having downscaling issues, which probably won't. Use anti-cheat compatibility hook needs to be on for most games, so I just leave it on by default. And don't worry about scale resolution or force scaling or anything like that. We're not running SLI crossfire capture mode, so we're not going to worry about that. So next thing you want to do is hit done here. So now we actually have our game screen captured into our stream. The next thing you want to do is, let's see, you'll want to do the camera. So I'm going to go on and add a camera source here. Display, no, that would be, you got to read through these very carefully. Video capture device. We're going to add source. Now I already have some devices set up, and I'm currently using this camera. But what you would do is you choose your so it's not going to work here, but you choose your camera here in this screen right here. Actually, I should have used my other camera. I do have two cameras that I could use, but that's going to get confusing, so I'm not going to worry about that. Now, you do not want to deactivate when not showing. You'll want your resolutions to pretty much be default. You can change these as you want to resize windows and stuff, but I'm not going to worry about that. So we're just going to go on and hit done here, and that will add a video capture device into your screen, which I cannot see. So there's going to be an issue here. Actually, I'll do a whole other video on that one because there's so much you need to do with your video capture, and I will not use the face cam for this video, or for that video. I'll actually use the face cam inside of this stream setup. That'll be my next video, so that should be pretty quick. So we're going to go on and hide this one, but you'll basically move it around however you want. I'm going to show you how to move that stuff around, so we're not too worried about that. Now, the next thing is lighting. When it comes to your camera, your lighting is very, very important. If you don't have enough light, then it's going to look really grainy, and basically, I can't stress lighting enough. You can buy really cheap stuff online that works well, and that's going to be the focus of one of the videos that I'm doing, is the different equipment, where to find it, how to look for stuff. Basically, we're going to do a really good budget build. So that will be a future video that we're going to work on. But just, I can't stress lighting enough. You want to have enough lighting to where your face is fully lit up. If you're using a green screen like I am, that's going to be extremely important because you need even lighting across your green screen so it doesn't change colors. Sorry, I'm looking over at my green screen as I'm recording. But you'll want it to where it doesn't change colors in the background. So the flatter the color, the better, which is why you want good lighting. The next thing that we're going to worry about is the green screen chroma key, but I did say I was going to do that in this video, but since we can't actually show the video here, we'll have to go through that in a little in the next video. I'm actually going to do a full camera setup video for that. Now I'm going to show you how to add in text. There are a couple different ways to add in text here. So if we're just saying, okay, so my name is Nobody, we're going to just go on and add a quick little thing up to the top here. So let's name this name, and it'll bring up properties for name. Now that was text GDI that I chose in the ads source, I believe it was. So now we're just gonna go. We're gonna type in here nobody YT because that is my Twitch username. Speaking of which, I do stream daily. If you have any questions, swing on by. It's 10 a.m. Eastern most days. But if you have any questions, swing on by and ask me. I am more than happy to help out. So we'll go with font. Basically, you'll want to change or choose a font. Like if you have a specific font that you're going to use for your entire channel, obviously go on and fix or change or choose that one. Sorry. We're going to get into branding later on one of the growth videos to help you out. But you'll choose a font. So let's just go with Cambria Bold here. And you can change your font size here, which bigger font size is actually better. You notice how it clears it up quite a bit. Choose your color. So we're just going to go with the red for now. Let's see, what else are we gonna do? Opacity, you can actually change the opacity so it like kind of blends in with the background more, or you can make it stand out. We're gonna make this one stand out. Background color, we are going to make clear. There, yeah, okay, it's already clear, so there's no worry about that. If you bring your background opacity down, it'll make it, or down to 0, that'll make it completely clear. Like if we were to choose this right here, let's see, let's go on and choose that, and we bring our background opacity up. You notice how the color comes in, but if you bring it down, it disappears, and you can actually read behind it, like right up here, alpha 8.1. So that's how you're going to do that. Alignment doesn't really matter unless you're a really picky and an artist type person. So let's go on and throw an outline here of, say, purple, just so you can see how you can do that. Oh, wrong. I didn't want that for the background color. I wanted that for this color, right? Let's go with a purple background here, outline here. And you can even change your outline opacity and all that fun stuff. So basically, it's pretty self-explanatory. I think we've seen enough of what goes on here. So we're just going to go done. Now we can move this around. Sometimes it's a little bit of a pain to grab. Okay, so we can move this around to wherever we want. And it gives us little numbers for guides here. So if you want to center something, you'll want these two numbers right here. This number, the 725px and the 704px, you're going to want those to be even. So if you move the mouse to where they're as close together as possible. Okay, so that's centered on the screen. Now there are some ways that you can center. You can transform here, and you can say center horizontal, which is here. And now we can center vertical as well, and that's going to put it right in the center. That's one way to center it on the screen. Another way is center on screen. So you can flip vertical, flip horizontal. Basically, you can do any transforms you want to it, like that. So let's go on and reset the transform here. And we're going to center this horizontal here on the top. So we're right where we should be. That's a good place for your title. Now, if you get professional work done for your overlay and stuff, then you can actually just bring that in as a picture. We'll actually get into that later. But for now, you want people to know who you are, so you can put that up there. Now, here's where the standard stuff comes in. We're going to go into the dashboard here. With this, we're just going to use some standard alerts that will allow you, like alert box here. Okay, so we're just going to go with your standard alerts, and we'll have a video later on how to edit these alerts and make them better. So we can choose whatever alerts we want. There's a bunch of pre-made alerts and stuff like that. We're just going to use the standard ones. So in order to use the standard ones, there's two ways you can do this. You can either copy this widget URL here, which I'll show you how to do, because this is how you do a, like if you're doing something like stream elements or something like, ooh, camera is, okay, there we go. if you're using Stream Elements or something along that lines for your overlay, which I do recommend Stream Elements. I've heard a lot of people had issues with it, but personally I like it. We're going to get into that. That'll be an entire video for your overlay. Maybe you'll decide to use it, maybe you won't. But what we're going to do here is we're just going to copy here. The widget URL is copied. Now, there's two ways to do this. There's the easy way and the hard way. I'm going to show you the hard way first because the hard way can be useful later. Not necessarily for the alerts, but it can be useful. So we're going to go to media source here. We're going to add a source, media source. Or right, sorry, not media source. I am so sorry about that. That will be a browser source. Now, all you have to do is hit add source. You name this. So we're going to name this notification. And hit done. Now, where it says streamlabs.com/browser source here, we'll just Control V to paste in that link that we had before. So I always do refresh browser when scene becomes active. There's a reason for that. Sometimes they don't like to work, so all you have to do is switch between scenes and they'll start working again. I think it's an issue with Streamlabs. I'm not 100% sure on that. So we're just going to hit done here. And then we're going to center this. You can put this wherever you want to, but I like to center mine on the screen. So we're just going to center. Now, if you want to test to see if it's working, you go down to test widgets down on the bottom right hand side right here. Let me back out so I can show you. Right here at test widgets, we'll click on that. And then you can test a follow. Yay! AA setup vid is now following. You can test subscriptions. You can test donations, bits, and hosts. Now, until you're an affiliate, you don't have to worry about setting up subscriptions or bits for your notifications. Now, we're going to go into custom notifications in a future video. This is just a quick setup guide. So, well, as quick as 22 minutes so far can be. Now, for that, you've basically got your standard stream. You can add in a chat box later if you want to, which we'll go into that in a future video. But these are pretty much the ones that you absolutely have to have. Now, I want to go into mic setup a little bit because mic setup to me is more important. Like if I hear a streamer that's having mic issues, then I'm not too happy with it. So I'm just going to show you how to set up your mic here. First thing you want to do is you want to go to filters once you have your mic selected. Okay, so no filters applied here. So what you want to do is the first thing you need to do is definitely a noise gate. Noise gate will keep any lower sounds from coming in, so it'll give you a lot more silence. You won't have a lot of background noise because of it. Now, so we're going to hit OK. And you can leave the noise gate exactly where it's at. It's actually set in a good place to start with. That'll keep any low noises in the background from coming through. Now, we're going to go into filters here. And we will add a new filter. Now, I've got a couple non-stock filters that I use. They're called VS2 or VST2.x plugins. I'll leave those down in the description, a link to the ones that I use. That way, if you want to set it up just like I have mine set up here, it's probably a good idea. These actually work really, really well. So we're just going to go with VST2 plugins. Now, the first thing we're going to have to worry about is this thing called compression. Without getting too nerdy, we're going to go compressor. Without getting too nerdy and too audiophile, basically compressors make the volume the same for your microphone no matter what's coming through. It's basically going to squish all the volume together so you don't have a really low this that you can't hear and then all of a sudden get loud. Compressors basically to deal with that. So as you see, you may notice a difference on this, but I am running a compressor here, so I'm not really sure what's going to happen there. Your viewers are actually going to thank you for it, believe me. So you're going to want to run a compressor here. So with that, the one that I use is Recomp here. And I basically just, when you open the plugin interface, let me drag this over to the right screen so you can see it. I basically just leave everything stock here. I do go to limit output sometimes, but not all the time. Basically, only if you're clipping do you want to limit output. There's not a real reason to limit the output. So if you leave everything just the way it was, that compressor is set up pretty nicely for the standard use. So the next thing you want to add is you want to go down into VST2.x plugin, and you're going to want to type in noise reduction. This is the big one right here. This will allow you to run bands and all sorts of things in the background and not have any issues with people hearing it on stream. This also gets rid of the high-pitched static sounds that you get with most microphones. Not all microphones can you hear it, but you definitely can in most microphones. So what we're going to do here is it's called Refer Standalone. This one is the bee's knees, basically. I've helped many people set this up. So if you look at this right here, this is our noise profile. This is what our mic's picking up at the moment. And if I go completely quiet, you're going to notice that this little gray line that's in here is actually going to continue to be there. Okay, so here's the difference. I'm running my microphone in the background, and you hear it, but or not microphone, I'm sorry, I'm running my air conditioner in the background, and you probably hear it, which is the difference between noise reduction and non-noise reduction. So what we're going to do is we're going to go back into the noise reduction, close, open, and now you can see it. No, you can't. Okay, so basically you're going to see these little things pop up here. It's going to look a lot like this in the background. For some reason, it's not showing it to me. I think it's because I'm using 2 different programs for recording. In fact, I'm using 3 right now. I'm using 3 recording programs, so you're going to have issues. But basically, you're going to see something that looks a lot like this. What you want to do is you want to automatically build profile while you are being completely and absolutely quiet. You don't want to do anything besides background noise while you're doing it. I'm actually talking, but you see how after a while it stops moving a little bit. So usually about 2 minutes or so. It's probably a good idea to do this before you stream every single time. That way it'll get rid of the background noise. But don't say anything. I'm talking over it because it's already set. So basically, once you're done with that, you can hit that, and that'll get rid of all your background noise. You build this profile right here, and that'll get reduced. So that's something you want to do every single time. Usually anywhere between 20 seconds to a minute. So let's go ahead and just delete that. Alright, so let me reset, because you don't need to reset, but I do. So now that that's done, let me set my other filter on my audio here real quick. Actually, this will be a perfect example. Now that I'm doing this, I'm going to reset my audio filter here. So you notice how when I'm quiet, you can hear my fan in the background, or my air conditioner in the background. And when I'm quiet here, you can still see the noise. We're about to get rid of that noise. So I'm actually going to run through it and do exactly like I told you to do. So we're going to hit subtract. Now we've got this noise profile. Now that we have a noise profile, all we have to do is automatically build profile noise while being quiet for about 20 seconds. So I'm going to do that. Okay, now that we're done with that, you see that we've built the noise profile, and we should actually have no noise in the background. Alright, so now I can close that out, and 1 second, I will be right back. And I am back. Sorry about that. Hopefully it only took sorry for the little cut there. It didn't take too long, I don't think. Okay, so now that we've got the noise reduction, the compressor, and the noise gate in, those are the number 1, 2, and 3 things that you need to worry about. I like to leave the noise gate in the beginning and then do the compressor and noise reduction on anything that makes it through the noise gate. Yeah, it just seems like it's a little easier to deal with for me. So you can leave them in that order. And now we'll hit done. And that's basically your stream set up for the first time. You should be able to, let me hit hide test widgets here. You should be able to go live at any time now. I'm not actually going to go live, but if you hit the go live button, well, actually, let's go live just to test. Let's just go with the larg here, and we'll leave that. Okay, so you'll want to leave this up. That way you can change your title every time that you go live, because a lot of times you're not streaming the same thing. So we're going to leave that. Game, we want to make sure you choose your games, because that's kind of important. So we're going to hit confirm and go live and see if we did everything right. So far, it looks like we are. Okay, so it didn't go live. I don't know why it didn't go live here. Let's try that again. This may be an issue with me running two of them. Let's see. Yeah, I think this is an issue with me running two separate recording programs at the moment. It's not going to let me go live while I'm recording another. So yeah, that's understandable. Now, this is basically what your screen will look like when you are live. I think it's an issue with me running or recording while watching. I'll test it out just to make sure that it works afterwards, and if anything is different, I'll put in a little quick video. But you're also going to want to, when you get your desktop audio and stuff, there's this thing right here, the slider. You'll want your desktop audio to be below the yellow line here, and you'll want your microphone audio to be within the yellow line. So adjust your volume sliders as necessary. I'm going to get into all of that later. But that's your basic step one for streaming. You're basically ready to stream now. So that will be it for this video, and I will see you later with another video on camera setup, and have a nice day.